Coming up, we turn a rusty chain into the catspaw dagger from Game of Thrones. Here, we have a rusty chain that has clearly seen better days. Before we breathe new life into this chain, it is worth mentioning that this chain was first produced to serve the mechanics of a 70s class combine harvester before being neglected. Heating up the chain in the propane gas-fired forge is essential to remove the years of rust and debris that have built up on the metal. A selection of wire brushes is used to be sure all damaged and rusty parts of the metal are removed. They brush off so easily. Using a forge as large as this is the most efficient way to forge Damascus steel, which is a strong type of alloy metal that will look beautiful once finished. Due to the nature of this project, a metal box is welded together for the chain to sit in so that it can be forged appropriately. This metal box will be removed and taken apart later. The chain is cut up and layered so that it fits in the box. This layering will create a unique pattern and a solid piece of forged metal. When making a blade, gaps can form in the chain links which can cause issues. To prevent this, we fill the canister with powdered 1095 high-carbon steel dust and tap it to ensure it fills all void spaces. This method will help avoid any unwanted gaps in the final product. A 30-ton hydraulic press is used to apply pressure to the hot metal in order to compact the chains together. It is important that the casing that was created earlier is removed. By doing so, we can now access the new forged metal that was once a chain. Removing excess metal is done by sanding. This can be a time-consuming process. Heating and chilling the metal to extreme temperatures is what allows it to be manipulated into the shape we want and eventually hardened. The metal is grinded and sanded down to remove the oxidized layer from the heat treatment. To ensure an even distribution of all the different components of the chain, the forged-out chunk of metal is stretched and cut into 4 pieces. Additionally, 3 plates of high-carbon steel with nickel are inserted, which creates a contrast of tones as it is shinier than the other components. Applying borax encourages the steel to bind together better. This is done by sucking out the oxygen trapped between the steel layers. When working with alloy steel forgings, to avoid the metal from cracking, the knife is then given an oil quench. By doing so, it reduces the shock of sudden cooling to the blade. Tempering metal after an oil quench is standard practice. Placing the knife in an electric kiln oven ensures the longevity of the blade. This process is done to be positive that the blade remains intact throughout its life. We use electro-etching to create a mark on the steel blade. First, we connect the blade to the positive end of a laptop transformer using a vise. Then, we hold an insulated copper tube with a cotton cloth soaked in saturated salt water, which acts as a cotton bud. Next, we place a stencil with a maker's mark over the blade. When we apply a 20-volt electric current, the current flows only where the mark is due to the salt water. The blade is left to sit in ferric chloric acid. It is this acid that shall bring out the beauty of the Damascus steel and expose its contrasting qualities. The yellow substance used is ferric chloride, which is more oxidizing and enhances the unique properties of each steel, resulting in a noticeable etching effect. The blade was intentionally over-etched to achieve a more striking appearance. Soft wood is used in preparation for the casting of the handle's guard. African blackwood is used for the handle. In order to maintain our upcycling theme, chrome-coated brass faucets are used for the handle's detail. These are cut up and placed into a melting furnace, designed to accommodate the crucible, which is the pot shown here. Once melted, the brass is poured into the guard's casting. The brass guard and attachment are sanded down and polished to perfection. Additional brass ornamentation is added to bring the handle to life. Industrial-grade superglue keeps everything in place. The final sanding seals the deal. From a rusty chain to the stunning catspaw dagger. Look at its beauty. This is certainly a killer dagger. The Targaryen family would be envious. Thank you for watching.